Run!
Oh.
Rabbit-like demon thing. Run. And welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. My name is Gareth Blackclure, Mon, and joining me is just a regular Digi-destined of a guy. It's James Barron. Hello.
Hello. I was going to introduce myself as a Digi-destined, so you'd nailed it. Hell yeah. I've got my talisman at hand, and I'm ready to summon a good show for everybody from the digital realm. How's it going, Gareth?
Going very well.
Good.
How are you?
Great. Because we're talking about something from both of our childhoods this time. You know? Well, I guess we both had Pokemon before, but we've covered Pokemon, covered Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess there's still, Dragon Ball Z to cover. Maybe we'll do one of those eventually. But this week we're doing Digimon. Digimon, the movie. A conglomerate of 3 movies joined into one. Which, I thought I had seen this movie, but I hadn't. I had seen one of the 3 of the movies that this movie was made from.
Whoa, which one?
The middle one, the second one. I'll get the name of the movie because
that's Digimon Adventure War Game.
Yes, War Game. The one when they go into the internet. Yeah, that is the one that I had seen. I can't remember the context of how I saw it.
Just to see the middle section of a film.
Yeah, because it was only released in Japan, but I did see. I'm pretty sure I did see it. Because I remember all the internet-y bits being really, really cool, and I remember more of that, and I was like, why don't I remember this other stuff that took place? And it's because they're from films I haven't seen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
What about you,
so
man?
You were a Digimon boy?
Absolutely, yes.
Through?
Fresh out of Pokemon, Pokemon hit, and that became my personality when I was 5 years old. I wasn't allowed a Game Boy or anything like that growing up, and so I think I would pretend to be a Pokemon frequently and just run around.
We've talked about this.
All the time. And so when Digimon dropped, I think it was probably a couple of years later in the West. They were like, well, these kids love these bloody monsters. Why don't we do some more monsters? So Digimon started airing on TV, and I was like, hell yeah, more monsters. This is what I'm all about. But I was a bit older, and I think it was 8 or something when this dropped. I don't know. But it's good. I love Digimon. It was a fun time. The series was really interesting, and that it was just kids getting whisked away to this other world on camp, which is a cool concept. Yeah,
a little bit Goosebumps, a little bit Pokemon.
Yeah,
that concept.
Same kind of vibe. Yeah.
Quite Narnia-ish as well.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. Well, what about you? You're a big Digimon boy growing up.
I was. Like you, I wasn't allowed a Game Boy, so I couldn't fully engage in the Pokemon world. And then Digimon came along, which had a lower, cost of entry.
Yes.
You really, nobody was playing with the Digimon Tamagotchis that they brought out. You just would watch the show if you could and just party.
Yeah.
And I remember the Sunday, they dropped Digimon Episode 1 on a Sunday.
Whoa.
At 8 a.m. or something,
Church.
and then they were going to air it every weekday, at 4, which at the same time as Pokemon. So that was a huge thing to figure out.
Oh yeah,
Switch.
Man.
Yeah. Luckily, it was the season of Pokemon where they're not introducing any new ones; they're just sailing around some islands.
Orange Islands, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So it was kind of an easy choice because it was okay, let's watch these new guys.
Yeah. Not even canon to the games, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could dive into the Digimon world.
Exactly. So good. Rush home, chuck on Digimon, switch over to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
be bored for the last hour and then had to watch the news,
Had to watch the news? Oh,
yeah.
You're like, this cartoon sucks.
Yeah.
They're just talking about things that have happened. I hate that. Oh my
This cartoon's almost as dark as later Digimon.
That's so true. Oh my god. Yeah, Digimon.
How long did you stick with Digimon?
Honestly, I can't remember how long I stuck with it. Definitely through season 1.
Yeah.
So I know all those friendly faces, but when we get to the back half of this movie, when we're dealing with the second set of Digidestined, I didn't really know many of them. I recognized some of them, but then I think I was all back in for the third round of Digimon. Because
oh my goodness. We're just the same cells. We're the exact same person. That was me as well. I just couldn't get into this second season. They introduced way too many new rules and stuff.
The armor.
And I mean, I love my new rules on my Dua Lipa songs, but not on my Digimon.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, the armor. There was more fusion than before.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a little too much. And then, which is ironic, because then season 3, I remember so fondly and so well, even though it was the most complicated season, because it was... Digimon was a TV show in that world. Yeah.
And
then Digimon were real.
They were appearing in the real world. And it wasn't set in the digital world like the rest of the show had been up until that point. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah. And a kid drew his own Digimon that became real after a breeze blew it through a card reader or something.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a circumstance. What?
I know.
I can't believe that happened.
So you can imagine me drawing my own Digimon and then just blowing away at them, hoping it'll somehow go backwards into a printer and become real.
Oh no. It's why are you breathing heavily over the printer again, Gareth? You're I'm trying to make Digimon real.
This was the same stretch where my parents' printer had a virus that would print out random gibberish half the time.
Whoa, that's terrifying.
I was so certain I was getting a Digimon.
Yeah, that is how you get Digimon. If this movie has proved anything, that is exactly how you get Digimon. It's trying to print you a large Digi-egg, Gareth. You just needed to collect all the pieces of paper and join them together, and it would make an ASCII art of a huge egg.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there you go. I hate to tell you now.
That's right. All my Digimon's stuck in a clear file somewhere at my parents' house in storage. Because I was keeping that paper.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Doubling back, I hate to flex on you, Gareth, but I totally did have a Digimon Tamagotchi, and it ruled.
Whoa.
They were a huge hit at my primary school.
No way.
Yeah, and popped off in a massive way where we demanded that we get them for Christmas, me and my brother, and we did. Yeah. And they were sweet. They were the best Tamagotchi iteration, period. They were, because you could, they're just regular little Tamagotchi guys, but you could battle them against other people, and I think you could trade them across as well. They'd link up. There's a little, connector on the top.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you could do, a little battle mini game. And if you did enough battles, they would digivolve and change form on the little Tamagotchi, and that was sweet. Yeah, I wonder if I still have mine somewhere, but they look like little TV screens, and they were pretty dope.
Okay.
But yeah, so I just had to cover that off. So,
no, thank you. Yeah, we had Tamagotchi, the original, but my parents got it for us for Christmas as well to keep us quiet on a long car ride. But then our Tamagotchis died.
Oh, no.
And we just cried the whole car trip because we'd lost our little pretend animals.
Oh, tragic.
It was traumatic.
Yeah. The only way that I think the Digimon Tamagotchis could die was if they got pushed off screen by their own poops. So that's a horrible, neglectful death. But that's the lesson that you have to learn if you've got a Tamagotchi. It teaches you a life lesson.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should get back to...
I wonder if that's canon to this movie.
I have no idea, but we should get back to talking about it because we've kind of just devolved into talking about how sick Digimon is and how it affected us. But Yes, so this movie, as I said at the top of the show, is 3 movies joined together haphazardly and like attempted to conjoin the canon of all 3 stories together, and it's super obvious. Like,
oh my gosh,
yeah,
it was rushed. I think they like needed to put out a Digimon movie because the second Pokemon movie, I think, was coming out.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can tell like some of the attempts to connect one character into it, into like the other stories. It sounds like like if someone's mum was on the PTA, and wanted to really and also in the theatre club, and wanted to really make sure their son had a part in Romeo and Juliet, and was just like, maybe the priest comes into this scene as well. Hey, look, there's Harrison.
Exactly. I was getting huge Poochie energy from a particular character, so we'll get to them. But yeah, this movie was a huge success. Well, I say huge. It had a budget of $5 million and it made 16, but that was considered a success by the makers of it. So yeah, but anyway, it's such a bizarre movie in terms of basically every movie making standpoint. It's so wild. If you haven't seen Digimon before and you tried to watch this movie, I can't imagine what that would be like. But because it's just, I would say probably about 40% of this movie is just the transformation scenes from the series that they've just lifted into the movie. Insane. That was a huge part of the show. But anyway.
Yeah. We talked about with our Yu-Gi-Oh episode, like, that was very difficult to follow if you'd never heard of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And I would argue this is more difficult to follow because at least, like, well, the Pokemon movie, I feel like, is very easily contained. You just have to accept there are Pokemon.
Yeah.
And, you kind of, you figure it out that they fight each other.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh seems like you watch the TV show up to a point and then you could understand the movie. You just have to be like, okay, I suppose you have to watch up to when they wanted you to stop watching, so it all would make sense, different characters' motivations.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe the card game you could kind of understand if you just kind of, like, went like, okay, now they're just playing a game that I don't quite get, but it's this.
You do just play the card with the biggest numbers and then you win. That is
yeah, that's so true.
That is how it works, as far as I know.
Whereas, to a parent in the year 2000...
Oh, yeah.
The Digimon movie asks you to remember 3 different points of a TV show, all their characters, the incredibly difficult lore of season 2.
Oh, yeah.
And then plugs in Willis, who you have to keep track of the whole time. Oh my god,
Willis.
And because it wants to give you at least every character you've seen from the TV show. So you have to be like, suddenly like, oh, who's this guy at school? And like, has he connected to that like little seal that was briefly on screen? Yeah. And then the way they battle, you have to accept there's a bunch of modes that they're all in. And then they essentially make up one just for this movie, which we'll get to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was like, you and I had some sort of nostalgia, some sort of like deep repressed memory to help us guide through it.
Yes.
This would just be the most baffling piece of media to anyone.
Yeah, so if you don't know anything about Digimon, listeners, maybe this episode isn't the one for you. I'm going to do my best to make it like as clear as possible what the fuck is going on, but know that it is completely mental and baffling, not only to the uninitiated, but to both of us who I would say are very well versed with Digimon. So don't feel too bad. But if you don't know much about Digimon, maybe skip this one. Or
this could be your chance to learn all about them.
Or this is the perfect intro to Digimon.
Because we will describe every Digimon as best we can. That's the
that's the challenge.
Guarantee.
That's the challenge for sure. So yes, let's get to it. I do.
So while you're also keeping all this Digimon in your head, we also Pink Floyd are involved, and we watched it on mute with Pink Floyd playing. So that's a whole extra layer. That's like, I guess, the armor evolution
of this film.
Movie recapping.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're just sitting around in the background waiting for season 2 to start. Yeah, and then we'll get into them as well. This movie, just quickly before we do launch in the theatrical cut, it had a short for Angela Anaconda. Do you know anything about Angela Anaconda? I remember being terrified of this show.
Same. Yeah. It's buried deeper than Digimon.
Yeah.
But I remember because it was actual black and white photos of children.
Yeah.
Put over like little puppets.
Yeah.
And
sort of like
made into a fun hangout growing up is hard kind of cartoon.
Yes, that is a very accurate description. It's sort of got like a Paper Mario kind of vibe where they all look like little, like a scrapbook almost of all your friends, but doing various things. But it's just terrifying. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that there was a specific Angela Anaconda short film at the start about going to see Digimon the movie, which is insane.
And from what I've read, they didn't even understand Digimon themselves. No. They were like, she digivolves into Angelamon, and that just is her looking like one of the human characters.
Okay. I mean, fair.
And then, like, they later edited out all the Digimon side of the storyline and just played it as a regular episode in the next season of Angela Anaconda.
Wow. I mean, you put in the work, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Whew. It doesn't look like an easy show to animate.
No.
So,
fair enough. All right. Shout outs to you, Angela Anaconda, for terrifying me and confusing me somehow more than Digimon. So there you go. But let's do it. Let's talk about the movie. We've got Speak to Me, opening titles, everything, you know what's happening. We got this movie's made by Fox Kids, so I'm instantly worried because Fox Kids not known for their quality, but hey, at mid 2000s, sure, or like early 2000s, that's probably peak Fox Kids era. It was all downhill from after this.
What else have Fox Kids done? All I remember is they only dubbed Digimon and maybe Card Captors? That's a huge guess from me.
Oh man, Card Captors was sick though. Let's just do Card Captors instead of Digimon. No, what else? Yeah. What else did they do? I'm taking a look.
I'm just worried like it's all secretly very Republican cartoons.
Oh no. The Digimon are
like one about like George Bush's dog or something.
Oh no. So they put out Beast Wars, Gareth. They put out Beyblade. Digimon, of course. They made they made Dinosaurs. Do you remember that show? The Jim Henson horrible puppet nightmare?
Not the mama.
Classic. They distributed the Hercules series. They did heaps of stuff. Fucking, oh man, Metabots. Yo.
Metabots ripped. Metabots was the shortest lived thing, fad in my primary school. Like, they were cool for maybe 3 weeks. Yeah. And one of those weeks had my birthday in it, so I got a Metabots toy that then became instantly useless.
You're right. It was a super short-lived fad, but that show was great because it did not take itself seriously at all. Oh, man. Bloody Metabots. All right, that's enough nostalgia. God.
That's the heart. That's the true enemy. That's the virus infecting us.
Yeah.
Is the nostalgia.
But yes, anyway, we've got the intro to the movie, which is just like JPEGs of Digimon flying at the screen.
I'd forgotten about this. This is dreadful.
It sucks. And also, we aren't hearing it, but in my clean watch, I got to hear this. There's a Digimon rap that plays an original Digimon song where it's just they're replacing the prefixes of words with Digi. So it's just Digi this, Digi that the whole time. Highlight is Digitude, my dude. So yeah, that was my favorite lyric. But boy, what a way to start the film.
This is such a rough start. Yeah. And these JPEGs are just like, I mean, I'm not like super proud of my own animation ability, but like, this is something I would phone in for a Sync Floyd YouTube version of the podcast, knowing there's only one person who watches those. So I'll just chuck that in for my own amusement with thinking like, oh, they'll just have it on the background. But this was like the only animation the American side of this company did, and it's so bad.
It's so dreadful. They're just like, I guess they were running out of time and budget, and they were just like, well, we'll just put this out, and we'll make a huge amount of money. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we get Breathe coming in after these opening credits, and we cut to this like Godzilla style fight between Greymon and Parrotmon. I had to look up Parrotmon because I'd never heard of him before.
Parrotmon, for the listener, is a budgie, but real big, and also has human arms.
Yeah, awful. They're just like sort of fighting, and we're getting a opening monologue from Kari trying to explain what the fuck is going on here. It's like it all started with the Digimon and the Digidestined and Willis, who lives in Colorado. And you're like, who? What? Willis? As you're just watching like a dinosaur fight a giant bird, and you're like, okay. If you weren't sold already by the JPEGs from the intro, like, this is what you're in for, okay? Just nonsensical violence and strange dialogue. Oh, fantastic. But we do start with, like, a sort of a prequel kind of story to Digimon, or like an alternate history. I don't think this is canon to the Digimon series, because I'm pretty sure they didn't know about Digimon. But anyway, there's a young version of Tai from the show and his baby, at this point, sister Kari here. And they were they were both season 1 characters who were involved, but they have no knowledge of Digimon in this version. Tai is just like checking on some stuff, and he sees his sister who's watching this egg appear on a computer screen, and it then like warps out of the screen. It turns into like horrible CGI water and just extends from the screen, and then they all wake up as if this was a nightmare or something. It's very strange. But the egg, it turns out, is real, and his mum leaves for work. The mum in this part of the series is just like a Peanuts kind of parent whose head is cut off the screen and is saying things, but we don't really hear them. So Tai finds his sister is holding this enormous egg, and I don't know if this is from the show or not. I can't remember, but Kari has this like whistle that she blows to communicate instead of speaking, I guess because she's a little kid, a little baby.
Yeah, I think by the time the show started she was too old for whistling.
Fair enough. Yeah, she's got a little whistle here, and that's how she communicates for most of the film. Tai is in the background making breakfast, making eggs, which is a little bit harsh considering they have this enormous egg in their care.
Read the room.
But the egg starts like wandering around on its own, and the kids chase after it, and then it hatches into a little guy, a little fuzzy ball guy. How to describe this creature? It is like he looks like he's made of like chocolate. Like a little chocolate drop boy with yellow eyes. He's cool. But huge, like the size of like a child's head, I would say. And it hides under the bed and starts like blowing bubbles at them and singing to Kari, who sings back. It's very weird, this whole thing. It's like none of this is really explained. It's just all these strange things that are happening. They say that Kari tells us is like, not all Digimon are friendly Digimon, so we're lucky that this one was. And it's like, okay, thank you for that information. It's just like more randomly thrown at you assorted like knowledge from the show. Just like, some Digimon mean. Telling you now, just in case.
It's definitely the Kari actress deserved an Oscar for the amount of heavy lift. Not an Oscar, sorry, an Olympic medal for all this like heavy lifting she's doing for this whole movie. Trying to fit Willis in, trying to explain everything to us confused parents.
Yes, a truly Herculean, sponsored by 4Kids effort. Very good. So they're feeding this thing like candy bars, and Ty is saying that he'll have to convince his mum that it's a new throw pillow. But anyway, I wanted to comment that they've been left alone here incredibly young. Like, Ty can't be more than like 5 years old here and is alone looking after his baby sister. I guess this is potentially commentary on like Japanese work culture. I don't know.
Ooh.
But anyway. So all the electronics and stuff in the house start going haywire, and that's because when the Digimon digivolves, Gareth, or changes form, it sets off all the electronics and they go wild. Again, I don't think this is canon to the show, but it's fine. But yeah, so he's transformed into a little pink guy with long ears, like similar. He's like a little orb, a little face with long, dangly rabbit ears, and he's a bit more sinister. I always thought this one looked kind of scary for an in-training form.
An in-training form of your main guy, the Pikachu of this franchise. Yeah, essentially.
He always kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it is sort of a weird thing that all the Digimon have their like base level forms that everybody loves, but those are the like rookie ones, and there are two before that. Like, there's their like little tiny orb version, which all of them seem to have. They're all like little blobby boys, and then before that they have like tiny baby speck protozoan forms. Which is so strange. Like, I get the evolution angle, but it's just weird that to have your main mascot be the third form of something. But there's so many more to come, so I don't know, maybe it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think that I don't know, they'd start you on the bottom level because they wanted to keep adding all these crazy like new things above it. So it's strange there's stuff below it that really doesn't even show up.
Yeah. It's so strange. Like, only when they've been like massively defeated do they turn back into these little blobby boys. But I don't know. It's someone made the choice somewhere along the line, and that's just how it is with Digimon. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you got paid by the Digimon you invented.
Yeah.
So like the more Digimon you design, the more like money you get.
Oh my god. I could crank out like 100 of these blob boys and just like make a lot of money really quickly, I think, because they're all kind of the same.
Absolutely. Well, like the most brutal assessment of the Digimon design was earlier this week. I sent you a photo of a bird holding a knife.
Oh yeah,
and said new Digimon design, and you found a Digimon that was just a bird with a knife.
Oh yeah,
already existing.
I'm pretty sure you could give me any picture. Like, you could give me like a picture of you, and I'd find a Digimon that's just Garethmon. Like, the amount of Digimon is ridiculous. Digimon design goes places that you would not believe. We'll cover it more in a little bit. But yeah, it is basically anything goes with Digimon after a certain point. So pretty cool.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, anyway, this little blobby boy is here, and he shows affection by doing a horrific like face hugging move. Where he wraps his ears around your face and latches on. Terrifying. We get the crash sound in On the Run here after of all this like growing up kind of montagey stuff. And this creature does battle against the cat over the cat's bowl of food. And in the movie, this is played over Funk Soul Brother.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Seeing those lyrics while, On the Run by Pink Floyd are playing.
Oh, yeah.
Very hard to hold both those ideas in your head at the same time.
Yeah. You mentioned last week that this had, like, some insane soundtrack choices. Can we talk about that briefly? About the soundtrack? Because...
Yeah, let's fire it off now, because that's the thing. There's so much insane about this movie that the fact 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies and All Star by Smash Mouth are in it is like barely up there. But yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, we've got that. We've got All Star, we've got 1 Week. We've got Rockefeller Skank, Funk Soul Brother, by Fatboy Slim. We've got Kids in America, a cover.
Yeah.
By like a Toronto band.
The band that did Butter Rolls, that song, it's got like 2 spoken word parts.
Yeah.
And he's like lying on the grass. What is that called? Steal My Sunshine.
Okay.
It's Len.
Yes.
Oh.
Man, good work. Good pull there.
Thank you.
But yeah, we've got the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, as you mentioned, with the impression that I get. Oh my god.
Tones.
This is the most like heavy 90s soundtrack. I just don't know how the fuck they paid for all this.
Right?
Like, it's like they just it was a grab bag, lolly scramble of top 40 hits that were playing in America at the time. And they're like, yep, just get them all, put them all in. We'll make it work. It's just Digimon, guys. It'll fit fine. We've got Less Than Jake.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah.
Like, I had Less Than Jake on a CD compilation called Punkorama.
Oh my god.
Yeah, to hear them sneak into my Digimon, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
This is where it came from.
Who else we got? We've got Jason Radford, who I don't know.
No, never.
Summer Camp. Spill by Show Off. Okay. Just a little bunch of like weird punk tracks. And then also All Star in 1 Week. And then on top of that, original like Digimon themed tracks. Which, by the way, the Digi-Rap from the start of this movie is performed by a person called MC Peapod.
Heck yeah, it is.
Which is just wonderful news. Oh, man.
It's also the way they cram these songs in. Like, we hear 1 Week over, like, just footage of a Digimon hacking various bits of electronics around Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. Anyway, it's eating... they have a fight with the cat over this wild song. And there's a recurring bit here where the mum comes back and says that she'll cook the kid's favorite, which is liver sticks. There's a recurring joke in the series that I remember where the mum was an awful cook. And this is one thing that carries across to this, because it was a joke with the like voice actor dubs, who were just coming in to do the work, and they were like, yeah, why don't we just always joke about this? Pretty good.
That is... Yeah, I think that's 100% true. So we had to delay this record, and in that time, I've fully devolved into my previous child form and did a lot of, like, Digimon deep dives.
He's in training.
Mostly in an attempt to understand what we were dealing with.
Okay.
But a lot of the true fans are mad at all the jokes the American dub puts in. I think the real Digimon's quite serious.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because it was taking itself a lot more seriously. There were jokes in there because you can see that they've like animated people falling over and things like that. But definitely, I think this was a recurring thing, and I always really appreciated it. There were some that got made that were just all jokes. Like I remember Metabots being very tongue in cheek. But I think the Japanese version of that is actually really serious as well. There's also Duel Masters, if you remember that. That was like a full-on comedy show, like a parody of Yu-Gi-Oh. But again,
no way.
In Japan, I'm pretty sure that was like an actual serious show, but the dub that they did of it was just complete comedy the whole time.
Wow.
Wild.
I don't know. That seems like a weird choice.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like these shows obviously were printing money. To do one that was just like, oh, we'll just make fun of it seems very strange.
I don't think it was making fun of the format. It was just making fun of like, it was making dumb jokes with the idea of like dubbing an anime. Like they would reuse like shots and things a lot and then comment on it with dialogue and things like that. It was very meta and very strange.
Okay. That's honestly what this movie should have done.
Yeah.
Because it is, trying a lot of that.
Oh my god, yeah. This is trying desperately to string these things together. We aren't really there yet, but anyway.
No.
Yeah, so we get in more Digi-evolution here. He starts... first of all, he starts talking about being a Digimon. The little guy, Koromon, just starts chatting away. He can talk in this form, which is terrifying. I always forget that the Digimon can just fully speak. That's a huge departure from Pokemon, where only Meowth could speak in English.
It was like its big draw, I think.
Yeah, these guys were. It was mainly
that they went back after Digivolving, so they became cute again.
Yeah,
and the fact they could talk, like, those sold it to me. That's why I was all about it.
It was pretty sweet.
Like, sweet. I've got a new friend, and B, he's gonna stay cute.
Yeah,
because I think I mentioned this way back when we did our Pokemon episode, but I never evolved my Charmander in the game.
There you
I kept
go.
him as a Charmander. So I wanted,
Yeah, Digimon's like designed for you then. That's wild.
Right?
You get the benefits of having Charizard, but it reverts back into Charmander whenever you need. Like, that's pretty sweet.
That is right.
There you go. Solved. Digimon solved it, guys. But yeah. So we get all the clocks in time coming in when he starts talking about being a Digimon and explaining what that is, and that's weird. But yeah, he's like, thanks for being my friend, guys. And then he transforms again into Agumon, I think. They call him Koromon for the rest of this movie portion, this part, I guess. Because I guess that's how he introduced himself. And I guess that's fair, but they keep calling him Koromon, but each of the forms have different names. Yeah.
I guess it's hard, like, a Pokemon will tell you its name constantly, whereas a Digimon, you then have to keep asking, like, what's your new name while you're this big, and then when you're back to this small.
That's why they usually explain it in those transformation graphics. They always say,
of course,
Koromon transform into Agumon, and you're like, okay, I'm following. I got it.
Yeah, you write that down as quickly as you can.
Yeah. Anyway, turns into Agumon, and Agumon's bloody huge in this movie for no reason. In this show, he's like a little guy. He's probably only about 4 feet tall, maybe, tops. This
cute little orange, yellow dinosaur, big hands is his deal.
He's got to be like 8 foot or something. Yeah. He's like a full-on, like, raptor and is kind of terrifying. I think it's like a different studio made this and they just saw the design for Agumon and they're like, oh, yeah, he's like a little T-Rex guy. But they just made him, like, got the scale wrong or something. I don't know. Wild. But yeah, he starts, like, he jumps out a window and starts wandering the city, like, Godzilla style.
Heck yeah.
With Kari on his back, just hanging out. It's like as big as like a car, because you see him land on top of a car, and you're like, "Holy shit! It's kind of terrifying."
Right? He's so big. He's silent, which we're used to Agumon being like a friendly, chatty guy, who in the English dub talks like he has a fun voice like this. Almost. That was actually terrible, but it's like weirdly goofy. For, like, what you'd expect.
Yeah.
But he's silent, he's, like, animated different, he's just blasting at Japan.
Yeah.
Starts it reminded me,
fireballs, his pepper breaths.
Yeah.
His classic move.
Oh, I forgot it's called pepper breath.
Yeah. Pepper breath. I think it's another, like, invention by the dub. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, I'm going to say we're only allowed one more nostalgia point. One more nostalgia sword we can swing for this episode. I'm going to use mine right now.
Wow.
It reminded... Did you ever watch We're Back, A Dinosaur Story?
I did not, no.
Okay. This was one of the other VHSs we had. We had the VHS of Digimon movie. And then we had We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. And it reminded me so much seeing Agumon just blasting. There's a scene in that where the dinosaurs go mean and become like photorealistic dinosaurs again.
Whoa.
Instead of like the fun ones who were back for the dinosaur story.
That's scary.
And it like breaks your tiny heart. And to see Agumon doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it still got me to this day. I was like, what's my friend doing?
When good girls go bad, man. That's no good. Holy moly. Yeah. So he's just like doing his thing in the city, sort of exploring as like a little dino dude. And yeah, we're watching and like people are out looking around because all their technology in the whole city's starting to pop off. And up in the sky, emerging from the clouds, Gareth, is U2 in their giant egg. Descending from the clouds. No, actually, it's just a giant egg, and it like splits in half and emerges Parrotmon, who is here to fight Agumon. Don't really know why, but he's here.
No.
And yeah, it's sort of just, I think it is just like a Godzilla kaiju kind of analog for whatever reason.
I think from what I remember reading is the animator who made this one wanted to do he had all these big ideas for this like Digimon short.
Sure.
And then they said, no, we want a kaiju movie, please.
Oh.
So he and that's why it's set in the past, is because he didn't want to have to deal with the continuity, etc.
That's fair.
And just make like a fun kaiju instead.
Yeah. That works for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is fun. Like I think it's a fun little short. Yeah, well, at least this portion that we're seeing of it anyway. But yeah, so the kids arrive, like Ty's been like in hot pursuit this whole time trying to chase down Kari, and is like now they're just having this horrible battle and Kari's in danger, and Kari wants to stay around to like escort her new friend to safety. They want to save Koromon, who is Agumon. But he's too busy shooting fireballs at a giant parrot, and fair enough. And the parrot's shooting electricity and collapses a bridge on top of Agumon, who like protects the kids with his body. And in doing so, transforms again, digivolves again into Greymon, who is it's like a more closer to a T-Rex, but wearing like a skull mask, sort of like a Cubone Marowak thing, but on a big orange T-Rex. Pretty cool.
Yeah, the important thing is he's called Greymon and is not grey.
Yes.
That's, very strange.
Very weird.
Probably a deep reason in the lore.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it could just be like a direct translation thing. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, because I feel like they stuck to the names in the Japanese anime as much as possible, but like
I think I can confirm that, my friend.
Oh, cool.
This is my second. This is how my week's going. This is my second. This is how my Auckland lockdown is going.
Heyo.
After watching this, I signed up for a website called Crunchyroll.
Whoa!
And have been watching the new seasons of Digimon.
Whoa! That's cool. Are they still making Digimon?
Yeah, so I've been watching, like, there's a season where they bring back these kids as, like, young adults.
Whoa.
And it's kind of, so far, pretty sweet. It's mainly covering that emotion you feel like, when your friends are kind of drifting apart, everyone's doing different stuff with their lives, and like you're the only one who remembers the magic of fighting Digimon.
Wow. Okay, that sounds pretty good.
It's got a sweet like end of summer vibe that I'm quite enjoying.
Real nice.
It's just because I famously I watch a lot of movies. I can't really get into TV shows anymore. Something about it. So it's weird that I've been like, no. Digimon, though. I'll watch every episode I can get of that.
Only the finest of TV for me, please. Get that HBO nonsense out of here, please. Only the finest.
Only my Crunchyroll direct subtitled Digimon, please.
Yes, perfect.
Exquisite.
It sounds amazing. Sounds like a wonderful experience, Gareth. Thank you for this.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Please do. So Greymon is, now shooting off his fireballs, which is called Nova Flame, by the way. And, battling on the streets as the kids are just sort of watching upset. Pink Floyd thought I had something more to say because we're mid-time at this point. But we're just watching these Digimon, man. There's nothing to say. They're just battling it out. As they sing that, the Digimon theme from the show cracks in, apparently, on screen. So, pretty wild. Greymon goes down to a move, and they have to try and wake him up, and Tai blows the whistle, because that's what woke up the little, befriended the little version of him, the little baby form. It wakes Greymon up, and it ends the softly spoken magic spell, Gareth.
Ooh.
And he awakens. And
that is the thing.
Yeah, we get Greymon's eye snapping open as we go into Great Gig. Right on the song transition, which kind of freaked me out. And he fires off a beam at Parrotmon, and that's sort of the end of that part. Because we go back to Kari just saying, that night changed our lives. That's when we became the Digi-Destined. And both those Digimon are now gone, as if nothing happened. There's just devastation around from their battle. But and two abandoned kids in the middle of Tokyo. But anyway,
and then she gets swiftly handed a note from the producer and has to cram the fact that in Colorado, a boy called Willis was also going through some stuff.
Yeah, and you're like, what? This is the second time you've mentioned Willis, and I still don't care. Who the hell is Willis? Stop talking about Willis right now.
What you talking about, Willis?
Exactly.
I finally understand that sentence.
Finally. God, just so angry at Willis and all that he's about. But anyway, so this was 8 years ago, and now we're up to 4 years ago. 4 years later, sorry, it says on screen. And we've got the crew, the friends from the original series are back here. They're how you remember them, presumably post-camp situation. Season 1 plays over the course of a summer camp where they get trapped in the digital world. Because I don't think they were friends before, but they all came together on camp and then got whisked away to another world.
Perfect kids' TV structure.
Yeah, classic. And then, so they're all friends now, but they're outside in the real world, away from their Digimon, who are trapped in the digital world, which is where they're from. So we see Izzy, the nerdy guy, computer boy, hanging out and working on his computer, he sees a virus or a hack is coming in over the internet. Apparently...
And he says, prodigious, a computer virus on the internet, which just sounds like a man who's never seen a computer before.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of that in this section, but we'll get there. The world, it says that the world was watching exactly what Izzy was watching. We just see, random people also tuned into their computer screens, and they see a Digi-Egg appearing on screen, another JPEG. It looks like it's coming in on the world's weirdest Picross, which I'm very happy about. Everyone's excited about this. And we check in on basically, I think, most of the Digi-Destined from the season 1. We see Tai sending a love letter or a apology letter, really, to somebody, and he sends it like it gets accidentally sent off by his sister, and there's a little like gif of a dinosaur delivering the letter, which I thought was really cute, like a little Agumon going around. He's like holding the little letter. I thought it was very sweet. But it cannot be delivered because there's a hack occurring on the internet, Gareth. The internet is down across the world. And yeah, there's some sort of Digimon chilling on the big screen, and he's here breaking all the technology. Everything is sort of breaking down.
He's like eating it, right?
Yeah, he's consuming the bandwidth of everything, and like because so much of the city in the year 2000, I guess, is running on this technology, or relies on the internet and technology, things start cocking up and making a big mess around the place. But yeah, we're vibing over Great Gig for this intro. And it is a good time just seeing like these. Like, I think personally that this section is the best animated. I really like this. The director of this one went on to make a movie called Summer Wars. Have you heard of that?
Yes, we've had a listener told me to watch this.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. It's actually really similar to this Digimon movie.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Like, this Digimon movie was kind of his test run before he just made what he wanted to make.
It's a very wholesome movie. I think it's worth watching. But yeah, very similar kind of like internet world versus the real world kind of story.
Cool.
But yeah, with more of like a family element to it than Digimon. but yeah, it's cool. Anyway, so yeah, we're vibing over Great Gig, and the mum for this section of the movie is making a cake as like her thing. She's making this awful cake with really terrible ingredients again. But yeah, everything is like sort of lines up in this movie because there's a countdown timer for things to get solved, and it aligns with the mum making a cake and with a couple of other things throughout, which I enjoyed. I thought that was just good.
Yeah, same.
Good filmmaking. But yeah,
it doesn't line up too well with Pink Floyd, but we'll get to that.
That's sad. But yeah, so Izzy rocks up at Ty's and is talking about this Digi-Egg and what's been going on, and they are trying to sort out what's happening. There's this Digimon that is wreaking havoc. He is part virus, it is described, and he's trying to wipe out the internet. And Izzy got tipped off by bloody Willis in Colorado. He's just like, oh, this guy Willis, he's so fucking smart. Everybody loves him. Sent me an email about this, and he told me that this is a virus. And it's like, thanks, Willis.
You're so right that he's the Poochie of this movie.
He sucks.
When he's not on screen, everyone's asking, where's Willis?
Exactly. Oh my god. Anyway, the Digimon is just sort of sitting on the computer, and he starts eating up code. He transforms, he digivolves, and turns into like a little weird jester boy. And yeah, he starts eating up the internet, and we see that he's making all the prices in stores go up. People like go to pay with their credit cards, and everything ends up costing like 1,000,000 yen or whatever. Yeah, crazy. He's screwing everything up, this little guy. And as soon as everyone starts having to pay more money, we go into bloody money, Gareth. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was thrilled.
See, Pink Floyd were always worried about the evils of money, but they had no idea that a digital monster could make money so much worse.
Oh, you know? So true. Oh my god. They were waiting for this to happen, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, one day there will be a prophecy. A creature will destroy the money. That's what the song Money's about. It's a gas.
Of course. Well, like, oh no. So Pink Floyd, like, released an album. They broke up for the first time in 1995.
Yeah.
Which, if the Digimon main season, as all us true fans know, took place in 1999.
Oh.
So thus, this prequel took place in 95, meaning they probably did see the Digimon fighting in Tokyo and were like, well, our prophecies come true, we'd better stop. And ended their first run.
There you go. It all makes sense.
Digimon ended Pink Floyd.
Oh my god, I love that theory. That's what ended the band? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they saw a parrot with arms fight a dinosaur wearing another dinosaur skull as a hat, and were like, well, what do you need? This is what we warned you about.
That's it. The story is complete. They closed the book.
Yeah.
On Pink Floyd. All right. That's enough. Oh. The world's finished.
Yeah. They're like, a flying pig is nothing compared to this.
No. Oh, amazing. Yeah. So the boys just start like landing it up. I love that Izzy's just brought his laptop around and starts like connecting things.
It's so good.
He's looking at bloody Windows 95 as well on screen, which was such a throwback. Oh my god, just seeing it like that, user interface, amazing. Ty even says, he's like, man, should we call like Bill Gates or something to sort this out? Yeah, which is hilarious. Oh, just get him on the phone, get him on the blower. He'll jump over a chair and into action immediately.
I mean, he's such a nice guy. He probably would like drop everything to go help a bunch of like kids in Japan.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this Digimon is looking nasty. He's evolved into Kiromon, or Digivolved, sorry, into Kiromon. He's a naughty little jester boy. Yeah, looking scary, made out of ASCII art. And they're trying to figure out what to do, and Agumon chimes in from the digital realm. He's in a little browser window with Tentamon and a little like Final Fantasy Elder looking guy. Just on screen.
No memory of who this guy was.
No idea. No. But they're just
an old man.
They're hanging out in like the video game world, which I loved. Just in a completely different art style. I assume that like everything playing out on screen is in this art style the whole time, but we're getting a more dramatic view. But anyway, it's pretty sweet. This guy, they're saying that the bad guy is going to like DDoS the whole internet and destroy it effectively. And also, they say that the Dark Masters were nothing on this guy, who were the main antagonists from season 1. The Dark Masters.
Oh, yeah.
Were a quartet of bad guys. And there were some bangers in there. There was Puppetmon, I remember, who was like a horrible, scary puppet. There was Metal or Mecha Seadramon, I can't remember, who I just remember had the most bananas voice in the whole show.
What was it?
Oh, it was like this weird, like screechy kind of voice. It was wonderful. I've watched YouTube compilations of Metal Seadramon and his lines because they crack me up.
He's like Japan's answer to Waspinator from Beast Wars.
Yeah, 100%. I can't remember what the other two were off the top of my head.
There was Piedmon, who was like...
that's right.
Like a jestery kind of Joker meets, I guess, that scary demon from Powerpuff Girls. And... I'm
looking it up.
Yeah.
There's one left.
Some other chap.
Yeah. So Metal Seadramon, Puppetmon, Piedmon, and Machinedramon, who was like a sort of robot dinosaur with gun turrets on his back.
Okay.
Yeah. Piedmon probably the creepiest looking of these guys.
You can just see yourself running into Piedmon in the club.
Yeah.
And, like, hanging out with you and your friends for a little too long. And then being, like, wanting to go to a party that is too intense.
Yeah. Too far away and too full of people dressed as clowns.
Yeah. And, like, he's not going to drive you, so he tries to, he's like, oh, but we'll take your car. It's cool.
Yeah, we'll cram everyone into a very small car. I've done that many times as a nightmare clown man.
Oh, classic Piedmon.
Anyway, yeah. So I just love that they say, like, oh, yeah, the bad guys from the show, this guy's worse. which is just it's so cheap. But anyway,
it's very classic anime in the 90s, I think. Just be like, oh, but this guy's even stronger.
He's tougher. That is one of the failings of Digimon, is that there's always another level that is stronger than you. And they endlessly raise the stakes. Dragon Ball Z suffers from the same thing. Of this insane power creep that happens. Yeah. And you just cut back to like Krillin, who's like, hey, I'm just a little guy.
I've been left in the dust.
Yeah. Anyway, they they resolve the little Digimon are like, yeah, we're gonna express our friendship by saving your world because you saved our world, the digital world. It's a sort of tete-a-tete situation.
We wouldn't do it otherwise, but you did save our world.
It's only fair. So they use their Digivices, which were the little Tamagotchi guys that I allowed them to transform, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah. And Tai tries to call the other Digidestined on phone on like his landline, but he can't get through to anyone because of the technology outage across the world. He does get through to TK and Matt's house, who are staying with their grandma, who's just like chilling and has no idea what's going on. They live in the middle of nowhere. And she's just this like lovely old lady who can't understand. She's sort of got a like who's on first kind of routine happening here.
Yeah.
Which is very fun. But yeah, the sister, like Tai's sister Kari, is at like a sleepover birthday where she can't help because she's about to get sawed in half by a magician, which I thought was a great excuse. She's like, I'm part of the opening act.
This is my big break. Paidemon's in the audience.
Yeah, Tai gets Izzy to call Sora because he's still weird about this whole interaction that happened with her. Which we don't really get covered until later. But she pretends that she isn't home and doesn't want to speak with Tai. So, it's all awkward. They've been arguing over a hair clip, apparently. But we'll find out more about that. They run back into the room with the computer, and the cat is in here just visiting meow.com, which I loved.
Perfect comedy. Like, what are we supposed to do on this podcast, but other than just accept that's perfect comedy?
Yeah. Oh, incredible. I am now visiting meow.com live on air just to see what happens. And it is... it's clothing. It's that sponsors cats, cat shelters. It's a clothing brand with a bunch of cool cats. There you go.
Okay, man. Shout out to meow.com.
Honestly, looks kind of great.
Yeah, actually.
All the pictures have cats, like models with cats. It's great. Shout out to you, meow.com. Anyway.
Yeah, use offer code SYNCFloyd and nothing happens.
Nothing will happen.
And pay more.
If we get sponsored by fucking meow.com, I will buy 12 hoodies from meow.com without using our sponsor codes. There you go. That's a SYNCFloyd promise. I'll help out the cat community. But yeah, so the Digimon are out there traveling through the internet tubes. This is the like Summer Warsy part. The internet is represented by this like nightmare. How to describe it? It's like a visual feast, really.
Yeah,
it's very trippy,
very white and sparse.
Yeah,
with a lot moving around. Yeah, there's tubes, which is easy to understand.
Yeah.
But then the actual, like, the internet they go into is a huge, empty sphere filled with, like, Ferris wheels and emojis of horses.
Yeah. Which is basically...
I wrote that down because...
it's basically what the internet is. Like,
That's true.
Like 90%.
Ferris wheels, horse emojis, this podcast, and meow.com.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
That's all you really need. Anyway, they... I do love that the bad guy... They, like, interact with the bad guy here, who just sort of runs away. And it talks to the Digidestined guys by sending them emails. Which I enjoyed. He sends a threatening email that says, "So you like to play games, huh?" And yeah, the world watches on through the internet as these Digimon transform into their champion forms. We've got Greymon, we've got Kabuterimon here. The boys.
Yeah, we haven't even got into Tentamon and Kabuterimon. Tentamon is a big old red beetle.
Yeah.
Who inexplicably has abs.
Yeah. He's got a lot going on, Tentamon. He's definitely like over-designed, but like still quite cute. I like Tentamon a lot. I think he's probably my favorite Digimon. He's a cool little guy.
Yeah, we'll meet both my favorites across the whole show during this movie, so that's exciting.
I have a joke favorite as well, but I've written that much later in my notes, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
look forward, listeners. Yeah. One joke
coming up soon.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, these guys, they're like blasting beams at each other as they want to do, and the bad guy digivolves into his next form, Infirmon, I guess like an info kind of mon, I don't know, who's like a weird like USB dongle goblin, is how I would describe him. He's like
perfect, yeah.
He's like a spider kind of thing that looks like a USB stick. Anyway. He's like running away, evading them. But this thing is stronger than the champion level. He went straight to the ultimate form. I know. Which is bloody cheating. It's not how Digimon works. There's a regimented order for some reason. But anyway.
Again, parents must be so confused at this point watching their kids.
It's like, it is kind of good that there is a structure to the different forms of Digimon, because without that, it would be an absolute mess.
That's so true, yeah.
Man, just sorting through these guys, crazy. But yeah, so he's gone to Ultimate, so that means we need to go to Ultimate as well. So we get Middle Greymon and Mega Kabuterimon, who are the next forms. Yep, as you do.
Metal Greymon, very easy to explain. It's metal, but Greymon.
Yep.
Or Greymon, but metal.
I didn't describe Kabuterimon. He's just like a really terrifying giant mantis. Like, really scary. Looks nothing like Tentamon, except that they're both bugs.
Yeah. Sideways mouth.
Oh, yeah. Mega Kabuterimon's closer in that he's this, like, big red Hercules beetle guy. Honestly looks less threatening than regular Kabuterimon, but
yeah, for sure.
But is stronger by virtue of being a cool beetle. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they get stopped halfway through this transformation and transform back into their little guy forms. Tragic. And they're about to give up, but they get another email from Willis. He's saying, "Oh, it's all my fault, boys. I'm sorry about that. The virus, it's all my bad." It's not explained further than that, but it will be, I guess. And the bad guy starts sending out emails. He starts DDoSing the internet here, sending out mass spam emails to everyone and clogging the network. He also starts copying himself, which is another thing that a virus does. I do appreciate that. Like, that from like a technology standpoint, it tracks. It kind of makes sense what the evil plan is here, but it's still, monsters in the internet world. But hey,
yeah.
But yeah, and he starts like calling everyone on their cell phones, trying to find someone, and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? And yeah.
This was like edited in. This is just for the American version, I think. I'm trying to find people because he's, looking for Willis.
Yeah.
He's trying to find
bloody Willis.
someone.
Okay. Anyway, everything's shutting down. The stock market is in shambles, apparently. We find out that he's hacked into the Pentagon and is about to fire off missiles at the town that Willis is in, and also over here at in Japan, I guess Tokyo. I don't really know. But anyway, they get in contact with Matt and TK, who have like journeyed down to like a salon in order to get in contact. And yeah, they're calling in over video call, which is very fun. Like just very tiny frame in like an AIM window or something. It's very cute. Yeah, what else is happening?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, the bad guy runs across a giant US flag as well, which I don't really know.
Yeah.
That was very weird. Oh, as we get into any color you like, he's just like creepily crawling across a giant flag of the US. Don't know what it means.
Yeah. That must have been added in by the like US audience.
Oh yeah. Bizarre. But yeah, so the Digimon crew have now been joined by two of the other OGs. We've got because TK and Matt are here, and by the way, I always forget Matt's name. He's like he is just the most generic of the crew for some reason to me. He's got like spiky hair. He's like the Vegeta type, I guess.
He's the bad boy. Yeah. He's in like a band. He plays the harmonica, which may have been why I learned the harmonica in primary school.
Amazing.
I was bad at the harmonica gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Fair. But anyway, he's got Gabumon, who's like, I think like a little dinosaur, but he's wearing the like skin of a dog. And has a little horn.
Yeah, of a wolf.
Yeah, of a wolf.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
It's bloody inspiring, I call it. Like,
it's cool.
He's a little dinosaur that wants so bad to be a wolf, and he dresses like one. Yeah. And then he grows up. And like when he digivolves, he becomes a wolf.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then that wolf becomes my favorite Digimon, Weregarurumon.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a wolf that wears jeans and, like, knuckle dusters.
Is in a, like, full rock band.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So sad he wasn't in this movie, but Weregarurumon, I had a toy of him that transformed back into Garurumon, but I wasn't putting him back.
No way.
I was keeping my little punk rock.
Garurumon's just, like, a cool wolf. Like...
Yeah.
Nothing on punk rock aesthetic. Weregarurumon.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And we've also got
Weregarurumon almost definitely chose the music for this movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like I need to listen to 1 week again.
Yeah. Need my less than Jake.
We've also got Patamon, who's like a little bean boy with bat wings for ears. He's sort of like a mouse guy. I don't know. He can fly. I don't know. He's cool. Cool enough.
Very confusing evolution line for him.
Turns into an angel.
We'll get into it. Yeah, exactly. Buff human angel, like, that looks like he'd be part of the Point Break gang.
Yeah. Love that. But yeah, so they're now warping through the internet tunnels, and we've chased the bad guy into the girder zone, which is what I've called it, because this room is like a screensaver full of girders.
Yeah.
It's getting full, like, pipe dreams up in here. It's very good. And yeah, they transform into their forms, into War Greymon, the, like, mega form, ?
I think so.
And Metal Garurumon. They skipped right past Weregarurumon, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I almost walked out of my house.
Yeah, fair enough. Metal Garurumon's so lame. He's just like a robot dog version of Garurumon.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. That sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If they just made Garurumon even more like punk rock, that would
Yeah.
have been awesome. Now he's got a bass.
Yeah, that would have been sweet.
A student loan.
Crippling debt is his attack. War Greymon's just sort of a like Super Sentai style dinosaur robot who is like anthropomorphized and weird looking. Again, like has a sword, I think, like in full like Macross style. Anyway, bizarre. But yeah, we keep getting cutaways to like people around the world watching these Digimon transformations and getting real confused, which is very fun. And yeah, they do more battle against Informon, but he transforms into Daiboromon, which I don't know what he's like. He looks like a Evangelion kind of monster now.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this weird nightmare what you would describe a virus to a child as looking like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, we go into brain damage as they're doing battle in this girder zone, and Izzy gets sick from drinking this horrible drink that Ty's mum made and has to leave the room. And Ty, in his like fervor to like win the battle, slaps his PC, shutting it down. In true like Windows 95 era, not understanding how PCs work, kind of amazing. Just like giving it a kick and it turns off, and it's like, whoa, no, that's not what I wanted to happen.
Yeah,
amazing.
The kick was supposed to make it better.
Yeah, it was a technician's kick, please. But yeah, he also explains what this weird interaction with Sora happened, like what that was all about. Apparently there was this like argument where Sora always wears like a hat and he got her a hair clip being like, it'll be cool if you wore this hair clip. And she's like, I can't wear it because I wear a hat. And then he's like, oh, but you don't have to wear the hat. And she's like, what, you don't like my hat? And then it turned into this horrible argument. It's really stupid, but you know, it's kids stuff, I guess. But it's strange that it's in the film.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick dip into like a like afternoon teen drama cartoon, or like, you know, not even to all the boys you have loved before level drama, just like the smallest thing. And then back to the monsters battling on our internet. Yeah,
internet monster battle. Infomon starts a timer threatening the nuclear explosion that's about to happen. As we figure that out, as he's like copying himself, we find out that he's copied himself up to 75,000 times. And you've got to defeat the original Daiboromon to win. This is the only way you could do it. The Digimon are fully like defeated by being overwhelmed by Daiboromon and are sort of floating in space all week like. And they can't move very fast because there's an influx of spam emails that is clogging the digital world, Gareth.
Yeah, it's from all the kids trying to cheer on the Digimon and emailing them.
So weird. They're like, actually,
relatable.
Stop spamming us with emails, please, listeners, because you're making us move slow. Oh, amazing. But yeah, they're all just trying to help, but it's overwhelming. Poor Izzy and Ty's terrible mum's PC, you know? Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get into the end of the album. We're like in Eclipse here as we're getting these spam emails. And as we go into the silence and the heartbeats, on screen we're getting men vocalizing is what is written. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I was very confused. I didn't even recognize what song this was that was in the middle here. But it's very strange. And yeah, so they find Daiboromon where he's hanging out. He's in this big like spherical room covering the walls in swarms. There's like billions of copies of him. And yeah, the Digimon start getting like beaten up by like myriad beams from Diboromon. And the Digidestined themselves come in to the screen. Like Ty and Matt like zoom through their computer screens into the digital world and are like floating in dark space here and like go up to their weakened Digimon and they're like, I've got to help you. But this is where I noticed probably my favorite thing in the whole movie, by the way. This fucking slayed me to the point where I had to pause the movie and like laugh out loud solidly, I think, for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Because I lost it. The window that this is taking place in, on screen, we cut back to Izzy, who's watching this take place, watching like Ty and Matt like floating through space.
Being absorbed into the internet via friendship.
Yeah. It's all presented to him in a like not full screen window in Windows 95 that is labeled in all caps Big Lobe. Which, what? I don't know what that means, but I love it so much. What the fuck is Big Lobe? Big Lobe. I think that's the Big Lobe of the internet. Where they are, but I was floored. If anyone can explain what Big Lobe is, please tell me.
Because that must have been added by the English dub, like to be like, okay, to make this easier, we'll change it from Japanese to Big Lobe.
Big Lobe. It's so good. I don't know why it's here, but I love it. Yeah. So they're in the digital worlds. And Izzy delivers the perfect line here as well. He says, Ty himself became digital.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. When you become digital, that's how you know you've been on the internet too long. But yeah, it is a nice effect, though, them floating around in the digital world. Because when the people are in there, they don't have any line art. They're just sort of color shapes. As a differentiation. Like, I think that looks really good. And they kind of look like they're underwater. Yeah, it looks sweet.
And the Digimon's line out is all orange, which is really cool as
well. But yeah, they come together and get comforted by their friends. I don't know, they're Digidestined or whatever. And it's sort of like a reverse Ash turning to stone in the Pokemon movie situation. Because their friendship and increases the Digimon's power, and they start like growing very big, and they're fueled by the support of the spam emails of the people around the world who like spirit bomb style come together. And so many references, and fuse these two Digimon together to create Omnimon, who is like a Voltron-looking dude with a cape. So that's how.
That's that perfectly.
That is how you know him. He's also got a sword. His hands are like Garurumon and Greymon, like metal versions of those guys. So he's like full Voltron. And he also emerges from a giant digital egg. So a lot of emerging from eggs. I'm so glad that we like preface this by talking about you two so much on the last episode.
Who would have thought?
It was all leading up to this.
So obviously, because that U2 album was where they were emerging from eggs was Pop.
Yeah.
Which was, I believe, 96, which is, of course, this year after the Digimon appeared in Japan. So obviously, Pink Floyd saw this battle from one side of the city, quit music. U2 saw it and were like, improved music.
It's the new sound, finally. So inspired by Digimon, were they?
Yeah.
Man.
Let's pick up those guitars, The Edge, and write our least popular album.
At last, our time has come. Oh my god. But yeah, we're at the end of Breathe, and we hear Race Towards an Early Grave as Omnimon just starts blasting. He's doing blasting of his own. He starts wiping out the Diboromon population here, just cleansing them from this large internet realm. And trying to find the original, who's like hopping around and trying to escape as we're watching the countdown in both the real world and the digital world. There's like a large timer. The mum also has a minute left on her cake. Amazing. Izzy
and Joe, a character we haven't seen, has a minute left in his test.
Yeah, I liked Joe a lot. I've come around on I think when I was watching the show, Izzy and Tentamon were my favorite, but in my revered adult years, Gareth, I've come to appreciate Joe, the honor student, and his friend.
He just wants to do well at school, and the Digimon side of it is his hobby.
Yeah, he's got a cool little seal guy as well. I liked his Digimon a lot. Yeah, so he was a good vibe. Anyway, Izzy has the bright idea to auto forward all of the spam emails to Diboromon to slow him down, I guess.
Yeah.
And his triumphant cry is, "You've got mail," which is fantastic for us. Shout outs to villainous J Fox.
What do you reckon? Same universe?
Absolutely.
Did Digimon exist in the You've Got Mail world?
100% yes. Yes. This all happened. All of the stuff that's happened so far happened in the You've Got Mail verse. That's why it starts in that weird flyover of that little city.
That's the Digiverse.
That's the Digiverse. You got to establish it.
The digital world. Yeah. And that's why, bookstores are still so popular. Because no one wants to use Kindles because they're scared of Diboromon.
Yeah, accidentally launching a missile at your city.
Exactly.
You don't want to get Diboromon.
No.
But anyway, Diboromon does get bopped here. He does get taken out with a sword through the head, very violent, which stops the clock, the countdown clock, between 1 and 2 seconds remaining. I love the visual of slamming the sword between the hands of the clock, stopping it from reaching the end. Sick. Really into that. But the missile that was heading for Tokyo just sort of chills and lands in the river harmlessly. Not if it's gotten.
Hopefully that's harmless.
Apparently, yeah. If it's gotten that close, it's still a live missile, guys. Anyway, everyone's fine with it. Sora receives that email from Tai, and it's all good. They're friends again now because he apologizes and is nice in the email. We see bloody Willis here for the first time in the film. He's been mentioned a lot, but we get a cutaway to Willis, who is dancing through a field of flowers with his friends. Kokomon and Terriamon, who are in their little puffball forms, their little baby forms. We finally see him after hearing so much about him. Oh my god.
And this is footage not even from this movie. This is footage that they'll later recycle in this next chunk of this movie.
Yeah, every time there's a time jump, there's been a new movie, just so you know. Ridiculous. Anyway, but no, as finally the virus from Infamon corrupts Kokomon, making him sick, and he falls into the flowers over the crash sound and On the Run. Tragedy.
So good.
Bizarre. But anyway, we get the title card on screen, present day, finally, as... we get more needless character intros. We get the Digidestin from the later seasons here introduced. We've got Davis, Yoli, and Cody. Yole? Yeah, Dave.
Yoli, and I remember that.
Okay.
Oh, this is so bad. I'd blank this out. In a Digimon tie-in novel I read as a kid,
Wow.
It said Yoli. She pronounced her name to rhyme with go see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
And I always remember that was interesting that they put the pronunciation note so naturally in the text that it stuck with me to this day.
Well, there you go. It worked. But yeah, they're here, and we get introduced to them in case you didn't know, if you didn't watch season 2 of the most reviled season of an anime.
Yeah.
And yeah, in my notes I've written the clocks are going off in time, but I'm too busy yawning at these guys.
Oh.
Damn. The one thing...
Yoli's cool.
Yeah. The one thing I do remember from this season is the antagonist was another pair of like Digidestined who end up joining the good guy's side. Spoilers. But a guy called Ken, and his Digimon was Wormmon, who I thought was kind of cool.
I loved Wormmon. He spoke like this.
He's a little like
Wormmon.
He's a little like green grub boy. He has a similar energy to Tentamon, and that's why I think I like him.
Yeah, just the nerdy insects.
Yeah. Also, he digivolves into Stingmon, who's this like buff-looking insect dude who is cool as hell. He would be part of the band. He'd be the keys player alongside Garurumon in his band for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Stingmon is already booked because he is part of the Policemon.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
And that is a killer dad joke for nobody.
Yeah, that's what we're all about on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I just wanted that little sidebar that there are good parts of season 2. Just that guy.
Yeah, I think that was in the first episode, like, the bad guy's a human, and, like, we all lost our shit.
Yeah. Yes. This is also in my notes where I've written that my, like, joke... Here's the joke, guys. You ready?
I'm so excited.
Gareth, I need you to look up a Digimon called Bakemon. It's like written like bake, like Great British Bake Off. Bakemon.
Yeah.
He's just a little ghost guy. All right.
Okay.
If you got him on your screen.
The images aren't loading. I think there must be a Digimon on the internet. Oh yeah, I got him.
Oh no. Okay. So you got Bakemon. And now I need you to look up Soulmon, and who is the Digi-evolution of him, and he is my favorite.
Soulmon.
And you'll see why immediately. I've linked you in Discord.
What is Soulmon? No, this isn't real.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bakemon's image is this beautifully, like, etched kind of ink drawing of a ghost where they're like, he's rags and he's got scary teeth. And then Soulmon,
like a lot of detail.
Witch hat emoji over top of him.
Yep.
And
incredible. I love it.
Yeah, favorite Digimon.
Yep. There we go.
Put him in the band with Garurumon and Stingmon. Why not?
Oh, yeah. He's another member for sure. We'll have a full roster by the end.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But yeah, shout outs to Soulmon. Enjoy looking that up, listeners. Just laugh to yourself. Anyway, yes. So TK and Kari are also here as primary characters now. They were like the little kids in the first series, and now they've like grown up a bit and are part of the main crew now. Yeah, they're saying that they can't send an email, so they're worried about a virus, and they're hanging out with their Digimon in the real world as well, which is interesting. And they weirdly sense that somebody needs their help, and so they run off because technology's starting to go weird, in the real world. And Bloody Willis is out here now in cool teen form because he too has aged 4 years, and he is hanging out with Terriermon, who is his little friend, who's a little like green-eared bunny boy.
Very misleading that he's named Terriermon because he's clearly a rabbit.
Yeah, he doesn't look much like
I'm not
a terrier.
mad.
No. He's got a cool energy. He's a little like rabbit with some tood and big ears.
Terriermon, if you're playing along at home, is my favorite Digimon. But I prefer the version in Season 3, which is a different Terriermon.
Damn, got him.
Yeah. Sorry, this Terriermon.
Yeah. He's got nothing on Soulmon.
No, now that friendship with Terriermon ended, it's all Soulmon now.
Any Digimon can be improved by putting a witch hat emoji on top of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Soulmon on the Digimon wiki says he has a partner called Chris Connor. And then that link doesn't really go anywhere.
Well, shout outs to you, Chris Connor. I hope that's just like the artist or something.
Here you go. Chris Connor is a black sword tamer who gives Akira a toy plane in the Digimon Trading Center.
Okay.
Wow. Well, there you go.
There you go. That's some extra info for you. Oh my god.
I'm gonna hit. By the time this episode comes out, the Sync Floyd Twitter will be following just a man named Chris Connor.
We'll just find the first one we can see.
Yeah.
All right. So. Willis is out here with Terriermon, his friend, but he's being pursued by an evil rabbit, an enormous purple trash bear, who is Kokomon, his previous partner. We'll find this out later, but I'm telling you now. He's been corrupted by a virus, and the virus from the previous movie. And is now attempting to attack Willis for reasons unknown. He's been attacking him for the last 4 years. So they're duking it out, and Kokomon does some blasting of his own, as he does. And TK and Kari come up and witness it from behind a chain link fence. There's not a lot they can do. And Willis tries to bargain with Kokomon, being like, "What do you want from me?" And it turns into vapor, and it says, "Go back," very cryptically. So they go on the subway. This is in New York, by the way, for some reason. New York City. Now we're there. The previous, the other people, the other season 2 characters are all in Japan, and they have to fucking fly over to Colorado, of all places. Everyone is converging on Colorado for no narrative reason whatsoever. They're just all going, and like even justifying it to the degree that it's like, oh, we just heard somebody was in trouble, so we'll spend thousands of dollars on plane tickets to go to fucking Colorado for no, like they don't even know why they're going. It's the worst writing. They didn't even try. It's unreal.
It seems to be in the they cut this out of this American version in order because they didn't want the movie to be too long. So they had like I think an hour, maybe even longer, of this storyline. They cut this one was apparently the most heavily cut, and they cut out an entire thing where this Kokomon terrifying man kidnapped all the season 1 characters and turned them into babies, and that would have been a perfect reason for like the season 2 characters to come and rescue them. But instead, they just cleanly cleaved that out and made it like, no, they're just ready to drop everything.
Yeah, he's just a bad guy, and they need to go and stop him. Okay, no real reason. That makes a lot of sense because he does do that later. But anyway. So yeah, they go back to Colorado because that's where it all started, Gareth. Bloody Colorado classic with Willis and the virus, you remember from the intro when we were watching like a kaiju movie? And everyone was talking...
1 billion hours ago?
Yeah, remember when we were all talking about that and talking about Willis and everyone was like, what?
Yeah.
Who? Well, now you know. Here he is. And they're just walking down the road, like hitchhiking in the middle of Colorado. We don't really know why.
No.
The TK and Kari get attacked on a train. They're on like a subway from New York to Colorado. And they get attacked by Kokomon, who turns them into like dark subspace or whatever and starts battling with them before disappearing. Yelling at them not to interfere. Pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And yeah, he crashes the train, and so they've got to like just go with it on foot for a little bit. So wild.
This travel scene must take forever because it does give some characters time to get from Japan to Colorado.
For real. It takes ages.
So, this walk must have been forever.
Yeah. Well, like, we hear that Willis is, 60 miles away from his destination or whatever, and he's walking it with Terriermon. They hitchhike in the back of, like, a truck. Terrible advice for a very young kid to do in a kid's movie. Just hop in the back of, like, a Hilux. Like, what the fuck? This isn't even the first time they do it. Like, they get in the back of someone's ute here, and then later on they get in the back of, like, a semi-truck. It's so weird.
Yeah. That's not even... The hitchhiking side of that semi-truck isn't even the worst part, but we will get to it very soon.
Oh my god, yeah. But yeah, so TK, they find, like... no, they don't find TK yet. It's the Season 2 crew are here. They're in the back of this truck, hanging out with with Willis, and they're just they're all going the same way. I just don't understand the motivation for any of this. It doesn't make any sense why they have come together and start hanging out.
Yeah. So that's just like supposed to be a weird coincidence that the only other person in the entire continent of America with a Digimon is in the same truck.
Oh, it's so strange. But yeah, so they have hitchhiked in the back of this truck for as long as they'll go, and then they hop out, and bloody Willis has the bright idea to order a pizza to be delivered to his house. And then he asks to be delivered there too himself, which is a flex. Like, I think it's a power play to ask for a pizza delivery to your house and say, oh, could you also pick me up on the way?
Yeah.
Unreal.
I mean, wild, because I guess the idea is like, well, who's going to pay you for the pizza if you don't pick me up?
Oh, right. Oh, it sucks. I would be so upset to get that call at a pizza place. Oh my god.
It's completely bonkers, and everyone's acting like it's the greatest idea in the world.
Yep.
I was like, is it lost in translation? In Japan, is it more common to get like a lift from your pizza delivery guy?
I don't think so.
It's not. Like, no, the original script just said they'd catch another ride with a car.
Okay.
Him on the phone was just footage of him calling his parents from earlier.
Yeah, probably better than just... it's still weird that they're just hitchhiking across the country. I don't understand what this serves and what lesson this gives kids. I don't... It's fucking weird to have this, like, hitchhiking's fine message in the middle of Digimon, the movie.
Yeah. I wonder if that's, like, they edited it maybe to make it seem like, oh, hitchhiker's not cool, don't do it. Instead, try this pizza scheme that doesn't work, so you won't get in, like, an unsafe situation.
I guess so, but it's still weird as fuck. It kind of does work, because they do hop in the back of a Mazda ute, like, and drive off.
Clearly not a pizza truck as well.
No, yeah, just like a man with a utility vehicle has appeared, and he arrives and says, pizza, in like a really weird voice.
Yeah.
Which is great. But, drives off with half the crew. Basically, Willis and Davis are left behind And they get attacked by Kokomon again, as we're at the end of Great Gig here. And we've got, oh my god. So Davis's guy is Demivemon, who is a little like imp kind of guy, like a blue imp boy.
Blue imp.
And he turns into Vemon, who is just tall version of that. Tall imp boy. Yeah, kind of wild that they went with like a demon, but fine. They're transforming and doing battle, and they crash into a sign. And then, he armor digivolves, which is his next form. I don't really know why they needed like this armor thing, but it's just like Vemon wearing like flame printed armor, which looks like cardboard. It doesn't look. He looks way less cool in this form. But anyway, he can shoot fireballs now for some reason, so that's more powerful.
And he says it's the fire of courage.
Yes,
is what's made him do it.
Okay, good. I'm glad that that's the case. But Kokomon's like doing fighting these guys, warping around, clearly more powerful, and he's giving more cryptic clues. He says, "Go back to the beginning," and Terriermon digivolves for the first time ever. He turns into Gargomon, who is...
This is perfect Digimon design.
Okay.
This sums it up.
Yeah, he is...
If you've never seen a Digimon, this is what they're like.
Yeah. So this little, like, dog bunny boy transforms into a big version of that, wearing blue jeans, and has guns for hands. Like, hilarious. Even Willis comments on this. He says, he has pants now. Which, good question. It's like the Porky Pig situation. Like, why was he wearing pants before? What gives him the right to wear pants now? Anyway, it's very weird. He's like a bunny version of Barrett from Final Fantasy VII is how I describe him. Very strange.
And then, like, in the rest of the show, he just gets kind of more guns as he digivolves up. He turns into, like, a man with a dog's face with massive missiles on his shoulder that have cute little rabbit faces drawn on them.
Wow, incredible. Perfect. That is what Digimon is. It's just like... It's like, you've got the cute little good design, and then you're like, okay, second form, bigger version of that, maybe wearing clothing. Third form, metal version of that.
Almost definitely, yeah.
At any stage as we go up in this, you can add either a gun, a sword, or both. You can choose at any evolution stage. That's the formula.
Often there'll be like one limb gets really long. Like that's how you know they're evil.
The disproportionate limbs. Amazing. Anyway.
It's when it zigzags, when you go from like he's a wolf to he's a punk rock wolf to he's a metal wolf to now he's a knight. Yeah, that's when you know you're Digimoning.
That's how you know. Oh, when you fuse with your best friend into a Voltron version of a dinosaur? God.
You might be a Digimon.
Yes. So they're just like Kokomon runs away again and it disappears, and Terriermon like reverts back. And he's like, okay, we're a team now. We don't need to keep our secrets anymore. And he transforms, Davis's one transforms yet again into Raidramon, the Storm of Friendship, Gareth. Which is just like horse version of Imp? Like metal horse? I don't know. I can't fully remember. Lightning Dog?
I think it's... Yeah, it's supposed to be the same kind of friendship was what made Garurumon turn into Were-Garurumon. So thus, friendship is connected to dog and Digimon.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're like traveling on this lightning dog, and in the background, some like neighborhood kids are just dancing around in a field, and they're like, "Whoa, cool monster dog!" And then they're like, "Yeah," and that's it. They just ride on past these guys, and I just thought that was hilarious. These like just passerby children are like, "Whoa, amazing!" That's what I'm doing in this film. I'm just seeing this and being like, "Whoa, this is pretty cool," and that's it. Like, move on with my life, I guess.
Yeah, no further questions.
Yeah,
there's also the lyrics to a song that's playing, which are just, hey Digimon, monster friends to the boys and girls.
Yep, that's accurate. That's an accurate song. That's the perfect song to play over that completely pointless scene.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so it's just more traveling. They all arrive together finally at Willis's holiday home or whatever, but Kari and TK aren't there because they're still on their way hitchhiking from the train or whatever. And they say that Kokomon is trying to split them up, and we get this explanation as to what has been. We finally get the exposition dump of how the hell these three completely different movies are supposed to be tied together. Basically, here's the gist. Willis says that he created Gaiboromon. He one day found this like digi-egg with his two little friends in it, Kokomon and Terriermon, and they hung out together, and he's like, wow, I've got two friends, how cool is this? Wouldn't it be cool if I had a third friend? And so he tried to make his own digi-egg, but it became the awful virus. 4 years ago, it turned into Daiboromon, and it caused all that stuff from the other movie. And at the end of that, it corrupted poor Kokomon and turned him into the purple evil rabbit form. So, yeah. And Davis, after hearing this, bursts into tears saying that it's the saddest story that he's ever heard. And I agree. This is the saddest story of trying to tie three movies together ever.
Davis was weeping at the movie he's in.
Yeah, it's like, this is harder to follow than like the three Hobbit movies, guys. It's not, not worth it. Trying to put all these together. Spoilers.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so they're gonna help each other out because they're part of a team, and they're just like, he's run away. Willis runs away and explains all this stuff, and Terriermon pledges allegiance to do battle against Kokomon, even though he might die. That's what he says. He's like, I will fight to the death. And it's like, whoa, okay, Terriermon, maybe chill. I know you have guns for hands sometimes, but damn, dude. Anyway, they face off for the final confrontation in the field from the first time that we saw Willis. And it just yells out destroy at them and starts like shooting these orbs at everyone. He digivolves again to this huge giant rabbit who's walked straight out of Donnie Darko into this film. Way creepier than his like already creepy purple rabbit form. It's this like horrible dangling like toy version of a rabbit. I hated this one. Anyway. Yeah. So all of them transform into their champion forms. I'm not going to go over it. There's like a drill guy, a bird one, that stuff. I've gone on long enough.
The drill guy does have the best voice. He just talks like a cool guy.
I like that.
He's like, Digimon.
Whoa. And obviously we got Terriermon turning into his like gun form again.
The gun bunny or gunny.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, they get beaten so bad that they transform back into their rookie forms again. And the bad guy sucks them up with a big dark orb and starts juggling them, which is how you know you're in trouble. And Willis offers himself up instead so that his Digimon don't get hurt. And yeah, there's not much really to be said for this big jester bunny. He's just won the day basically. But then suddenly we get Angemon and Angewomon showing up, who are the Kari and TK's Digimon have arrived with Kari and TK in tow. And yeah, they start doing damage and beating this bunny.
Very strange sight, because it is a demonic jester bunny fighting like
an angel.
I don't know.
And a
seraphim. But like, if you did an airbrushed painting of heaven on the side of your van, you'd get Angemon and Angewomon.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, we're just battling this bunny.
Yep.
And they can't defeat it.
In a field of sunflowers.
Yeah.
And yeah.
While Davis watches.
Yeah. With his little imp. Yeah. Everything gets very dark because the sky gets flooded with dark orbs. Davis says, either this is an eclipse or we're in trouble. Mate, we're in us and them. We aren't nearly an eclipse, all right? You need to hold your fucking horses, sir. Anyway, the Dark Bunny heals his wounds from using his virus power or whatever and gets stronger. And this is when the characters start reverting. They start turning into child versions of themselves, like de-aging. Which is apparently what this like cryptic clue is all about. They have to get sent back in time to before the virus infected Kokomon to defeat him. And so they get turned into these like kid versions. It's very strange. Without the context of that earlier bit, that this is the bad guy's power, this just comes out of nowhere.
For sure.
Super strange. There's a bit of dialogue between Angemon and Angewomon where they're just like, oh man, this is not going well. We have to use the power of the golden digi-eggs. It's like, what? You know...
it's even... I wrote it down. It's so bonkers. It's the line that would just... It almost sounds like it's written in a way that's supposed to activate a sleeper agent.
Yeah.
It's, come on, we have to digivolve to our mega forms so we can release the golden digi-eggs.
Yep. You know... Never before.
I tried so hard to understand the sentence. I was all over the Digimon wiki.
Yep.
I went on the Digimon subreddit.
Oh, no.
I was like really trying to get it. So apparently these golden digi-eggs, even in the Japanese version, came out of nowhere. Like people were like, what's going on here?
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
And apparently the fact even that Angewomon and Angemon are there is actually like breaking the canon of the show, because apparently as we all know, the towers are supposed to stop them from digivolving. Well, so how did they get there?
Exactly. What?
Anyway.
Anyway, they digivolve.
So
then release
I was more confused than I thought.
They released the golden eggs, Gareth. All right?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. They release the eggs. They turn in...
The eggs are released.
Yeah. They turn into Seraphmon and Magnadramon, who are respectively a golden knight, like a seraph, I guess, and a flying cat guy. That's how I would describe him. Quite the transformation for Angewomon. But fair enough. And yeah, they also... they use this power of the golden digi-eggs to transform other people's Digimon. They get golden armor on their, like Davis's one and Willis's one get golden armor and turn into like very generic looking golden armored guys. Very boring.
Yeah. You just painted some of their other versions gold and you kind of got what?
Yeah. They just start blasting, shooting up the bad guy. They let themselves get eaten, and then blast him from within. And again, the like bad guy just says, he touches his heart very like tenderly to like, this will free me. And then says, destroy. And it's like, whoa, okay. Very weird. But yeah, it's the classic go inside the boy and shoot him from within to win. That's how you do it. But yeah, it's so weird. This whole part of the movie sucks.
Yeah, this third is the worst third.
100%.
Like, the first one, you kind of get it's like a prequel. The second one feels like how a TV movie should feel. Like,
yeah,
you know, the stakes are higher or it's in a different location.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas this just felt like we just tuned in halfway through season... Like, well, it would be season 2, but it felt like we were watching season 8 or something. No real idea who the characters are.
Yeah.
Your friend's trying to explain what's going on because they're not going to switch it off to just hang out with you.
Yeah.
So you have to be like, okay, cool, so they're going to release the golden Digi-Eggs.
Yep.
Okay.
Why are they in Colorado?
Yeah.
Don't know.
That works with the pizza?
Yep. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going into... so it gets destroyed from within. He transforms back into his... honestly, he transforms into... The bad guy transforms into this, like, giant floating bunny now. Who's honestly more terrifying than his original form.
Yeah.
It's sort of this, like, very scary, dream-like rabbit of mystical power who's floating around. I didn't like this, but...
No, neither.
Anyway, it, like, turns into stars and fades away, and Willis, like, cries because he's lost one of his friends due to his hubris. Should never have tried to create your own Digi-Egg, fool. You gotta wait
for us all.
You gotta wait for the printer to make one for you accidentally.
Yeah.
And yeah, we go into brain damage as everyone returns to their normal age. The Digimon turn to their little forms again, and yeah, everyone's saying their goodbyes. We get the news that Digimon cannot die because they are data, and therefore they just transform. And yeah, everyone's sort of heading their separate ways on a bridge. Willis kisses both female characters in this scene to assert dominance over the movie, as he's done the whole time. He's just like, yep, I'm fucking Willis, get out of my way. Hate him.
Yeah, so he doesn't deserve to hang out with Terriermon. Terriermon wouldn't do that.
Exactly. So we see him calling his mum from a beach, and they find a Digi-Egg washing ashore, and it's Kokomon's egg because he's been reborn. And Kari comes back in, talking over, explaining what the fuck is going on. She says that Digimon never truly die. Their information becomes reconfigured. And this happens as... she says, so Digimon will always come back, but only sometimes they'll come back singing a different tune. And I'm like, okay, weird moral, but while that's on screen, we're in brain damage, and brain damage ends with the lines, and if the band you're in starts playing different tunes.
Yeah.
That freaked me out a bit. Like, it doesn't happen, like, line for line, but we're in the same track, and, like...
It's definitely like they're trying to sneak in one last sync.
Yeah. Scary. I was a little bit apprehensive about that one. But anyway, yeah. We see the dark form of Kokomon is back because I guess there wasn't footage of like a good version of him. And he starts dancing to All-Star and singing away, to which Willis says he's tone deaf. And that's how we end the movie. With the credits rolling in over brain damage. It's second chorus coming in. Bizarre.
So I think this dance footage was just cut together from like him attacking earlier.
Yeah.
And they were just like, but if we loop it and put All-Star over it, everyone will be like, best ending ever.
No one will know.
And yeah.
No one will know. It's the perfect way to end a movie, with All-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless a year later we'd realise that it's actually the best way to start a movie when a little green guy called Shrek shows up.
Exactly. What did you think? How did it sync? All that biz, Gareth.
Oh, gosh. I mean, yeah, I'm pulling that virus of, I've sent the golden creatures into my heart to remove the virus of nostalgia.
Yep.
I'm looking at this straight, dead in the digital eyes, and it does not sync with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
No, it doesn't.
We've got a couple things, but for me, this would be a 3.
Oh, I think that's generous, honestly.
Oh,
I'm feeling like 2-ish on this. Yeah, it's not a high score. I feel like I should have been restarting the album every time we did a time jump, honestly.
Yeah, but I think then the proper way would have been to do that, but then watch the original unedited Japanese versions.
Yeah,
and see if they all each synced with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
But
I have a strong feeling that after 2 hours of Digimon talk, no audience members screaming for that.
Exactly.
But, hit us up in the comments.
Yeah.
Spam us with emails and slow us down if you want that.
Please do. I feel like this is the economic way of covering 3 Digimon movies at the same time. So, there you go. At least we're getting through every movie ever made that much quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Should we say 2.5 then on the graph?
I feel like there might have just been a bit of goodwill still in me. Maybe it is a 2.
All right. Yeah. I'm not going to try and convince you, but yeah. Okay. Cool. Lock it in at 2. Yeah. What do we got now? We got me choosing the next movie.
We do have you choosing the next movie, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Gosh. This is going to be like when I was a kid and we did Topic, and which we got to study a different topic every 6 weeks. Must have been less, must have been 3 weeks. But we studied aliens and I was loving it. And then we switched to studying the Olympics, and I just couldn't stop thinking about aliens. And it all my little illustrations I'd do for the Olympics, when I handed in my assignments on the Olympics at I was 7 or something, they'd just always have aliens in the pictures, and the teacher had to be like, Gareth, aliens are over. It's going to be that, but Digimon. It's going to be a while to shake this one.
It's going to be eclipsing
I'm
the
excited.
show.
What are you choosing?
Okay. Well, I'm not straying too far from the Digimon movie, in that we're still in the realm of Japanese animation for this next film. And also, now that we've finished spooky season, Gareth, Oogie Boogies are all over. The book is closed on that for another time. I'm ready to move on to the next holiday. Much like the mall, I'm putting up the Christmas decorations way too early, Gareth, because we're doing a Christmassy movie this time already, because we don't usually do Christmas movies on the show. We don't get the opportunity because we do Krull instead. So, I'm doing one now. Fuck it. We're doing a Japanese movie, Tokyo Godfathers. Yeah, it's a Satoshi Kon movie, a Christmas film, a heartwarming tale. Get ready for a winter warmer next week.
Wow. Cool. I have not heard of this. I'm imagining it's, a gripping story about Santa, has got to choose an heir to take over the Santa family, and it's 4 hours long and has Al Pacino in it. Is that close?
We'll find out. Yeah, next week. Tune in and find out what it's all about. Cool. Hit us up on the socials, all that stuff. Twitter, syncfloyd.pod. On just Twitter.
syncfloydpod@gmail.com. Oh, no, just Twitter.
No, we deleted all those accounts I started last week. They're all closed. So I don't know when you're listening to this, but no. No, hit us up on all the good places. Yeah.
I've been Gareth Blackler. Feel free to just stop me in the street and talk to me about Digimon at a safe distance.
Yeah. I've been James Barron. You can talk to me about Digimon, but don't expect me to respond that well to that. Yeah.
That's fair. Don't expect me to respond that well either. You know, I'm going about my own business.
Unless it's about Tentamon, and then I'm all in.
Yeah. How did he get those abs?
Yeah, he's ripped.
And until then, we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions.